All right, Ben, here are some of your first run Stratton GS. It wasn't your better day. I think we all know that. I think you're a little tentative, a little conservative. Maybe the race day jitters got you. You were training so much better the last 2 days. But that's okay. It's a learning experience. You're training better, you're training faster, you're looking for speed, and then we're going to bring on race day. One thing you seem to be doing is your first runs in each race lately, much more tentative, then you go for it in the second run. You have better second run, but you really put yourself in a hole after that first run, and it's a lot to make up. But in any event, I put you up against the winner here just to, help you visualize maybe a couple things. First off, you were really skidding a lot this day, and I think you're just being really, really tentative going into turns and just tossing them aside. Look at the spray of the snow relative to his, which is none. So you really you're a good little skier. You got to trust yourself and your skis and your ability to roll up those skis at the top of the turn and arc and carve it. I know a lot of times it's hard to figure out. We talk about you need to get a high line and this and that, and so it's hard to figure out how high is too high. Well, sometimes you take a very round line. You can see yourself here, how much, I guess above, if you want to say it, relative, from a point of reference, this blue up here, how far you kind of went up this way to approach the red. And this guy over here, well, he never really went above that blue. So, much tighter line. But again, it's hard to figure out when we tell you to take high line how much. So, line is dependent on ability. This guy's ability is obviously a little better, so he's going to take a little more direct line. I mean, the goal is to finish, no matter how what ability, we have to finish our turn with direction done on the panel. And where we actually have to intersect rise on how much elevation or space above, it kind of depends on our ability. So I think sometimes you take too high of a line. I think you can be lower. But regardless of what line you're on, we have to carve the turns. I mean, look at the spray going on there. And see that he had some, but not as much as you. So he's carving a lot more of the turn at the top of the turn. And if you're taking that nice high line that you should be able to carve that whole thing because you're giving yourself tons of room. You came in here, lots of room. I mean, look at that spray going on. Just skidding the whole top of the turn. This guy comes in, there's no spray at all. Just clean arc throughout. So, you do it in your free skiing. You do it in some training runs. No reason you can't do it on a race day. Right? You got to believe in yourself. You have to commit to that top of the turn and be willing to lay them up, stand on it. You can do it. I've seen you do it before, Ben. All right. So, like I said, you've been finding speed in training. You've made a ton of progress this year. You're searching for speed in training. Let's bring it to the race day. But continue in training to work on really being clean. Maybe not quite as round and high of a line. Bring your line down. If you can't finish the turn with direction done by the panel, then you can always bring it back up. Let's take some chances and see what happens.